Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this next lecture. Uh, and we'll continue our discussion on design for manufacturing. In the previous video, we discussed about the manufacturing cost, how all these costs uh, are the factors which decide the final uh, MRP of the product in market. Then we saw the definition and what is the implementation result of design for manufacturing. That is, it lowers the production cost without sacrificing the product quality. Then we saw that DFM is part of DFX. It requires cross function team. We discussed what is meant by cross function team. DFM is performed throughout the development process. Okay. Then what were the major objectives? That is to reduce the component cost, reduce the assembly cost, and reduce the production support cost. Now, uh, what are the process or what are the steps for design for manufacturing? So the first step is to estimate the manufacturing cost. And how we will estimate the manufacturing cost? We'll estimate the manufacturing cost by estimating all these costs. Okay, so if you want to get some custom part in your components, then you have to uh, inquire for the raw material, inquire for the processing and tooling costs required in order to produce one custom component. Okay, and that custom component uh, will decide the cost of your manufacturing cost. So the first step is to estimate the manufacturing cost. Okay, so by calculating all those costs approximately, you will make an estimation. Okay, my final product will have this much cost. Okay, which will give me this much amount of profit, and this is the amount of tax I am paying, and this is the amount which is the input amount, that is the amount required for its manufacturing. Okay, so the first step is to estimate the manufacturing cost. Now the second step is to reduce the cost of components. So again, as we saw, that components could be standard components and custom components. So standard components are generally at low price compared to custom components. Okay, why? Because standard components are manufactured in bulk quantity, and whenever something is done in bulk quantity with proper planning, its cost is automatically reduced. Okay, so first we'll try to see if we can avoid the custom component and use the standard component. Okay, then we will go to the uh, third step, that is reduce the cost of assembly. So in assembly cost, we saw that two types of costs are associated with it. One is labor cost, second one is equipment and tooling cost. Okay, so uh, labor cost, obviously, if the labor cost is more, if skilled labor is required, the cost of the product will be increased. Okay, and if non-skilled or less uh, uh, skilled labor is required, then take uh, they will charge less fees for doing their work. Similarly, for equipment and tooling, if the very precise and accurate shape and size is not required, then the equipment and tooling cost will reduce. Okay, and if we require very precise manufacturing, then this cost will include, and ultimately the assembly cost will increase, which will increase the manufacturing cost. Okay, so the classical example for both these things is many companies, uh, very big companies also, such as Apple, etc. They try to manufacture their phones and other products in China. Though the Apple is US based company, but its manufacturing and assembly is done in China. Why? Because the labor cost there over there is very less, and also the equipment and tooling cost is comparatively less as compared to US. So if Apple manufactures its phone in US, then its price will get significantly higher as compared to an Apple phone manufactured in China. Okay, manufactured or manufactured in China. All right. So this is a classical example how this reduce the cost of assembly is done. Okay. The fourth step will be to reduce the cost of supporting production. So again, uh, uh, many countries offer very ease of doing business. Why they offer ease of doing business? Because lot of cost of any company goes into this support and indirect allocation. Okay, so if in one country uh, the government supports that will give you land at very lower cost, will give you electricity at lower cost, will provide you infrastructure for your transportation such as roads, rails, etc. at very lower cost. So what will happen? Any company which is getting all these things at lower price at one place compared to other place, the company will automatically uh, attracted to the that place where the all these prices are less. Why? Because when these prices are less, they will uh, have impact on manufacturing cost, and ultimately they will be able to produce components at lower cost. What will happen if the components are produced at lower cost? They will be then the company will be able to give better competition to its uh, peer companies. Okay, so and ultimately increase their profit and provide better services. Well, it depends on the company, but it will make more profit. Okay, so uh, the fourth step, that is reduce the cost of supporting production, is done like this. All right, and the fifth step will be consider the impact of DFM decisions on other factors. So apart from design for manufacturing, there are other uh, methods also by which we can reduce the cost of the product. Okay, so by following one method and by following other method, we can compare which method is bringing down the cost of product by greater extent. Okay, so by comparing these in the fifth step, we'll compare the decisions made by DFM and the decisions made by some other process, and comparing those two processes, which is reducing the cost by greater amount and keeping in mind the uh, keeping in mind the quality of the product. Okay, and there are so many other things are associated with it. So those things are also to be considered. Okay, so this is it for today's lecture. I hope you are able to understand what are the 5 steps for design for manufacturing. Thank you.